Thought I'd print a little box to sit on top of the gearbox to hold the electronics, the receiver and the ESC. Printing it very thin so it's lightweight. I think that's just about finished. Oh no, 86%. Got a bit of time yet. Right, print is finished. So that should fit over that. Does it? Probably does if I use two hands. No, it was easier than that. I had to turn it 180 degrees. Then it fits perfect. Right, so that's to hold the electronics. It's not going to be waterproof, it's just to make it look tidy, because at the moment it looks pretty messy. I've just got it taped on top. If you saw the previous video, you know that I've put it on the local stream and had a very successful run with it. So, very happy with it. I've changed the oars. This is the previous oar. So the new oars are about another 20 millimeters, 25 millimeters long. The actual blade is most of that extra length. So the blade starts the same position and more or less doubled the blade in length, which made the whole oar, as I say, about another 25 millimeters. So we've made the whole span about an extra 50 millimeters or 2 inches or so. Could probably have gone a little bit more. And having put it on the water and tested it, I now think it would be handy if we had them angled down just a little bit more. You probably can't even see that they are angled down slightly. But I don't think we're going in the water quite as deep as I want, and we are clearing the water by plenty on the return stroke. Anyway, the reason we're sitting here now is to have a look at fitting this to replace this bit of tape. So I put holes in the bottom to line up with those holes, because if I glue this straight on top, we still want access to those holes. So I'll just glue that straight on top. And then we've got access holes for the cables to come in. So that should tidy it up a little bit. Using that clear Gorilla Glue again to glue that in place. Right, a little cooler in here than it was. What's that, 86? No, 92 Fahrenheit and 34, 33, 34 centigrade. We're in the conservatory. Got the fan on. Not that that makes a lot of difference, it just gives us a bit of circulation. But Nanny's in the other room there with the telly on, so we're going to have to sit out here so I can talk about what I'm doing to the boat. Get the tripod ready. Right, I did show you in a previous video that I printed this box to put the electronics in. They all fit in there nicely. But I'd actually made the cover a little bit looser than I'd intended, so it doesn't actually clip in place. What I've decided to do instead is I've printed some pillars, one for each corner. I put my magnets, these are the ones I get out of those magnetic toys, building things. I think they are 6 by 4. They will fit in there, so I will glue them in place. So one in each corner, and then the lower ones, one on each corner here on the lid. So it will be held together by magnets. You will also notice I've stuck googly eyes on it, lots of them. That's a nod back to the original spider that all this came from. And it also tells me which way round to fit that, because the eyes are at the front. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to super glue these into the corner. What I'll do is I'll super glue these taller ones in the corner here, super glue the magnets in there, then put the next magnets on top in those smaller ones, and then put the top on so that those are actually aligned correctly when they're glued to the lid, if that makes any sense. I've actually gone back and modified the design so those are actually built into it, but this one I'm going to make use of rather than throw it away. Right, so I've super glued the bottom posts in place, or pillars, posts, and then the top ones are just sitting on top, and if we look across, they're about half a millimetre proud of the top. So when we put this one on top of there, with a little spot of glue on each one, then that should stick to the inside of there in exactly the right location. So say this is really a recovery from a failure, in that I should have actually 3D printed them in place to begin with. But we'll live with it. Just a couple of thoughts while I'm waiting for the glue to dry. If I was building this again, the back end I would actually print with a cover on it and set it to something like 5% infill or less, so we don't need to fill it with foam. It would actually be a sealed unit. Same with the front, although I would extend it the same way that I've added this foam on the top. I'd actually make it higher so that it can take the waves going forwards. But again, print that so it'd be an enclosed unit, or a flotation, buoyancy unit. This bit where I've added the box on top, obviously I should be able to print that all in one piece. Certainly if I want to use magnets on it, I could print those posts in it all in one go, or just have screw fixing like I got for the rest of it. Magnets are convenient because you can just lift it off with a bit of extra force. I was lucky that my 3S lithium ion battery that I'd made from 3 18650s, I was lucky that fitted. I hadn't designed it to fit, but it fitted perfectly. I still might make the oars longer, only a little bit longer, but a bit longer, or make the paddles on the oars deeper, so that we get a bit more push in the water. Other than that, I'm actually very pleased that it's worked at all. I started this years ago when I found an infrared controlled spider, walking spider. Always thought we could do make it into a rowing item. In fact, I found two of the spiders. I found one that I converted from infrared to 27 megahertz radio control, so I could actually control it, because you never get the infrared controllers when you buy things second hand. So that was the first one I had. Then I found another one, which is where this gearbox comes from. It had a broken leg, but it did work, and I put that on a pirate boat with spoons on the end of his legs to try and get it to go along, but it wasn't lifting out of the water far enough, so it would pull, but then it would push itself because the spoons were still stuck in the water, so it'd just do that in the water instead of going forwards. And at that time I recognised I needed to put proper oars on it, but I didn't have a 3D printer at the time. Now I do, so this is what we've got. Well, I said I was going to print a cover to go on the back there, and then I remembered out in the garage I got loads of these pizza trays, as I've always called them. They're what our pizzas used to come, frozen pizzas. They came on a layer of this foam with plastic film over the top of them. They seem to have stopped doing that, now it's all cardboard. Anyway, I should be able to just put that on there, if I don't drop it on the floor, draw around it, cut it out, and glue that on using that Gorilla Glue stuff that sticks foam. Cut it to fit, Gorilla Glue on there, then covered with masking tape to hold it in place while it dries. It's supposed to take 24 hours to cure properly, dry within 2 hours, but 24 hours for the full effect. So I expect there'll be yet another video about this at some time in the future. That's certainly looking better. Don't know whether the eyes will wobble around much, but yeah, enough of that. There you go, that's the current position. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.